You want to activate or use the console command in Valheim and you don't know how. Don't worry, today we'll see how it works, whether it's to activate the console, activate cheats, or even where to find lists of commands. You can find the links to all the websites and mods mentioned in this video in the description below. Let's get started. How open console? Let's start by looking at how to unlock the console in-game. By typing F5, you should be able to open it. However, there is a good chance that it won't work as it's supposed to be locked. But don't panic, we will see two solutions to activate it. The first one is through Steam by going to Library, Valheim, Properties, and in the General tab you can see Launch Options. Underneath there is a text box where you can type -console and you can close it. This should allow you to access the console via F5 in-game. The second solution, if you have the Valheim Plus mod, in the bpnex file select config Valheim Plus CFG, and once this file is open, type Ctrl and F console, then click on next. Here, at the end of the first line under game, you will change enable to true instead of false. And you can also see the line, if you set this to true, the console will be false enabled in-game. So you just have to change false to true. That's it. Now you should be able to open the console in-game. Command lists. Once you've done that, it's great, but what do you type in this console? So to find command lists, you go to Google, type console command Valheim in the search bar, and there are two websites that may interest you: pcgamer.com and valheim.fandom.com. I start by showing you Valheim fandom, which can be interesting at least for the weather commands list. Personally, I almost only use pcgamer.com because it has a very long list of commands classified by genre, whether it's to make objects, monsters, or decorative elements like trees, rocks, etc. Use of commands. Now that we know where to find commands, let's see how to use them. But first of all, once your console is open, you will have to type dev commands, which will unlock the other commands. So now we are going to start by seeing that there are different ways to use certain commands in particular. For example, there are the normal commands like God. You just have to type the command without anything before or after it. It's very simple. Then there are commands like TOD, time of day, or ffsmooth, behind which you have to define a number. ffsmooth is a complementary command to the simple command freefly to have a more or less fluid free camera movement depending on whether you are closer to 1 or closer to 0. So for example, let's say we want to change the time of day. Here the value behind TOD will be between 0 and 1, 0 and 1 being both values to define midnight, and 0.5 to define noon. So if we want to set time to noon, we'll just type TOD space 0.5. Another type of command to use with a single number is to make several objects of the same type or several monsters appear at once. Here the command to spawn something is spawn space item name space number. Be careful to respect the capital letters when you spawn any monsters or item. For example, if you want to spawn 10 standard level elite drogue, type spawn space drogue underscore elite space 10. To continue in the commands to use differently, there are commands where you will have to type not one, but two numbers separated by a space. For example, to change the direction or strength of the wind, you need to type wind space number, which can be useful for navigating without the weather bonus or for making screenshots without the white lines that represent the wind. Or, in another example, to make one or more monsters appear with higher levels than 1. Let's take the example of the 10 elite drogues, but this time we want them to appear with 2 stars. We will have to type spawn space drogue underscore elite space 10 space 3. To conclude this part, we'll focus on the command that will interest us the most in construction, debugmode. When it's activated, it gives us 3 new actions available. The first one, by pressing B, allows us to activate or deactivate the free construction without the need of resources for construction parts. The second one by pressing K, which is the equivalent of the kill all command, which will kill all the monsters around. And finally the last one by pressing Z, which will lock or unlock the fly mode. Special commands. Besides the basic commands of the game, there are also other commands that you can add to the game via some mods. Like for example, remove forest with the My Favorite O mod, in addition to the uToonLib mod, which will remove all vegetation and rocks in a large radius around your character. Or commands to show or hide menus with AB space UI for the build chair mode. To conclude on this topic, I would like to give you a piece of advice when using the console. Never test new commands in or near one of your bases or any construction, because some commands can create real disasters. There are certain objects that cannot be removed or destroyed, such as certain trees, statues, and so on. There are also commands that will deform the terrain irreversibly, like the command ship_construction.
What the fuck is that?
Commands that will create big area damage, like Dear God Explosion. That's it for today. I hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching it until the end. On that note, have a good game, but especially take care of yourselves. See you soon on Valheim. Ciao!